Yep. Yeah. What is a Molly Mormon?
So I live up in the north. I live in the American Northwest, right? So Idaho, Utah area. We have a lot of Mormons or LDS people. I'm going to do this thing to cover my ass and say that Mormons, for the most part, are not that much different from any other very religious sect of Christianity, right? But Molly Mormon is what we refer to as like the box standard Mormon girl, right? Where they're following all the gender roles and the archetypes that are set up for them. So,
Uh, I will. I will. I will not go. Monty said he was covering his ass by saying Mormons are the same as any extreme religious Christian. No, they're not. No, they're not. I'll say it.
dog, I'm
I'll say it.
outnumbered out here.
I'll
Okay.
say it. Listen, yeah, listen for your own safety. I get. Maybe I don't want to call them out. I'm in Indiana. There's no Mormons around, folks. Mormons are weird, man. Mormons
Yeah.
are. It's so bizarre. Like just weird tangent. Sorry, but just based on the religion itself. So I don't know about you guys out there. I don't know. I'm an atheist. I used to be a fundamentalist Baptist. Long story, but I left religion in my early 20s and left belief in God by my late 20s. But I've seen the hierarchy when it comes to weirdness of religion. I grew up in a pretty weird one, like a fundamental, like your white evangelical Christian sect. That's basically what I was a part of when I was young. So I know crazy when I see it. Mormons have all of that, plus another crazy book written by Joseph Smith, like 150 years ago. And if you guys ever want to read like that story, I don't understand. I get why people are part of religions that are thousands of years old, that have basically entered the realm of myth or legend, like Jesus and Buddha, Muhammad, and all that. But man, Scientologists and Mormons, like you're getting religion from people who were born in the 19th century and the 20th, people born in hospitals creating a religion, and you're following that. Folks, I don't understand it. And Joseph Smith, the golden plates he had were covered in a blanket.
His
No one
crying stone that he had.
the rocks and hats. He's seeing the future with rocks and hats. And what's great about the plates, so for those who know what we're talking about, Joseph Smith found these golden plates that were written, I think, by the Archangel Gabriel. He wrote these plates, and Gabriel, and Joseph Smith couldn't write. I think he was illiterate. He couldn't write. So he would sit behind a curtain and read these golden plates to someone in his church. And he would transcribe a whole book from Joseph Smith talking from reading these golden plates. And no one ever saw these plates besides Joseph Smith, but he did allow some people to feel them underneath a blanket or a sheet. He would bring it to the church and they'd feel it. And you have got to read the testimonies, folks. Multiple people said, yeah, the plates were about 8 inches long, 4 inches wide. They kind of felt like 10. So many people said it felt like 10. It's like, folks, why do you think the place felt like 10, really? And last part about Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon, the guy who was writing the book for Joseph Smith, his wife thought Joseph Smith was a con man, probably because he had served time in jail for being a con man. She had a decent reason to believe that. So after he got done writing the book, she stole it. She stole the book and hid it from Joseph and his scribe. And she said, listen, if Joseph Smith really can interpret these angelic plates, he should be able to copy this word for word now that it's stolen. And Joseph, which was pretty good, pretty fucking smart. But then Joseph Smith said, oh, turns out those plates were corrupt. I found a new set of plates and just did a whole new book. People still
my files were corrupted. It's not my fault.
Yes. Bad mainframe. Yeah, so I don't know, Mormonism, just from that alone, that believing one religion, fine, but believing like an offshoot, like an addition, a DLC to another religion on top of it. Come on, I think it is a little bit goofy.
It is crazy because these people double down hard, and
they do.
It is unfortunately I get to live at the epicenter, and like for the most part, right? Like you have like fucking shitty Mormons the same way you have like shitty Christian people, right? But there is like a tinge of, for example, my in-laws are Mormon. Okay?
Oh boy! I see.
My wife has her records removed, right? Like she very much was like, yeah, being a woman in this church was terrible. So many terrible things happened, and she got her records removed. Her family are all still believers, and like it is so weird looking at it because if you don't look at it too hard. You're like, oh yeah, they're doing Christian stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then you see stuff like, oh, and they're obsessed with the founding fathers. Like they're obsessed with the United States government. Like, and it's I've written a lot about the Mormons, both in fiction and like just kind of in general, because they're so interesting and like they are weirdly organized for a religion,
Holy
especially
shit.
like an offshoot. They are if they I would not be surprised if there's like a Mormon PMC out there, right? Like if
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
like Mormon hitmen that are ready to go.
It,
um
Mormons have perfected American capitalism better than
yeah.
anyone I've ever seen. Like they've seen they they have what's missing actually from the evangelical community, which is community. Honestly, that the Mormons
Mhm.
have, they have a because the problem with evangelical churches, this is where the Protestant, holy shit, we off course. Anyway, this is where the
No, it's
Protestant
okay.
Reformation kind of fucked up in a lot of ways. Because if you read Martin Luther's complaints about the Catholic Church, most of them make sense to me. So okay, the Bible says there is one mediator between God and man, the man Christ Jesus. Why do I have to have another guy, like a priest, talk to God for me? I was like, okay, that makes sense. But the issue is that with the Catholic Church, everyone was kind of in on the same game. They all had the same. They had a central authority with the Pope and everything, and you had the noblesse oblige. You had the rich folks were kind of like urged, hey, you have to take care of poor people to
Mhm.
some extent and everything. But now, with if it's every man for himself, like your communication with God is yours alone. You have the priesthood of the believer. Now you have a direct line to the man upstairs. He tells you what to do. Fuck what anybody else says, and it's very individualistic, which is why capitalism ends up destroying entire communities. The Mormons found a way to keep the community and the capitalism, which, look, hats off to them for that. But yeah,
They're
there's a
very
weird.
hierarchical, which also to segue back, religion provides a lot of good structure for boys. And
Oh
like,
boy. Oh
yeah.
man. All right. We
I
you know
say
what?
I say I say good structure. I mean like a structure
A
that they
structure
like.
at all.
So
Yeah.
like
This is I am I don't like religion, for like
no,
religion
really.
does have yeah, no, religion does have social utility. There's like it does. Like I have yet to see a replacement that is as effective at social utility and community building that rivals religion. I don't see it. Like, I mean, if I correctly point out, oh, this is just nonsense made up by human beings, that's great. But where are we going to have weddings and funerals? I got nothing for you. I got nothing.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to go to a courthouse or some shit. All right, we can, but then it's just some sort of bureaucratic function. I get, I get why that's important to folks, and I also get that. Listen, I can't speak once again. I hate how many opinions I have that are so right wing coded. I have to be careful how I say them so people don't take it the wrong way. But having discipline and structure is good. Okay, that is not a
Yeah.
right wing thing. Okay, unfortunately, it comes across that way to people, but people need discipline and structure not only to thrive but to be happy.
Yeah.
You think, yeah, you think you want to just do whatever you want, have no rules. No, you don't. No, you don't. You will actually be miserable doing something like that. And for young men, I will speak because I was one. Religion does provide you with, hey, here are the rules, here are the orders, and also I'm not saying it's entirely biological, but it is the way we were raised. We were raised to seek out a challenge. We were raised to seek out difficulty. Look, this is why dudes like Whiplash. Okay, dudes like Whiplash, not
The movie?
because the
The
movie,
drummer movie.
no, yeah,
Okay.
the movie, yeah, not because. Yes, we think Fletcher is a good teacher. No, he was a horribly abusive person, but we are drawn to shit like that. We're drawn to a very tough challenge that we have to overcome. It's all of male media. It's all about
Yeah.
conquering an enemy or powering through an obstacle, and religion does help you with that. Now, I think there are ways we can do better than that, but it does explain. I think this is where you're going. Why young men for, are more drawn to religion now than they were, 20 years ago.
Yeah, they're into it, and you see that it's exclusively like when you look at who's flocking back to religion, like it is young men.
Yep.
The women in their same age bracket are not following them there, and I think it's because what I have anecdotally witnessed, Cake, I'm not a woman, I didn't experience being in church and a woman, is that like going to church as a woman essentially means like going to be a second class citizen, right?
Mhm.
And like women know this, and like men go back there, and what they hear is no, you're not the second class citizen. You are the most important person in your household, right? What the Mormons
Yeah,
say
yeah.
is that like the men carry the priesthood in the household, right? Is I make this joke all the time. My wife fucking hates it, right? But like we'll be in an argument, be like, don't forget I carry the priesthood, and she'll be like, we're not Mormon. So like it's unfortunate because men do want a challenge too. Every boy wants their, I think every person actually wants their hero's journey, but like men are sold that more than others, right? For me, it looked like, oh, that feeling of I'm not a man until I go do the military, right? Like I don't want to sit here and ever compare myself to other men who have gone and done their service, and then I just be like, yeah, I stayed at home and I worked at like Home Depot or something, right? I didn't want to have to do that because I was very insecure, right? Same thing with boys now. They're very worried and insecure about things, and they're looking for their struggle. They want something to come out on the other side on, and like, you even see this amongst us on the left, where we get very fixated on the like the mythical revolution, right? Like, there's going to be some
Oh
great
boy.
struggle that we're going to
Oh
have,
boy.
and like, I know I'm not even going to get you into talking about that, but like we have people on the left who want that, right? They really want to go do this fucking like fight so they can be the cape wearer at the end of everything being done, right? And there is this illusion that like, and you'll feel better for it, and that's not the case, right? Like, I I used to have this feeling of like, wow, I'm a GWAT vet, but I never went to the sandbox. I never went and did crazy stuff. I never got a car ribbon, right? I never had combat action or whatever. And then the more I exist, the more I'm like, wow, I'm really glad on top of all my issues, I don't have to deal with that. I'm glad that like I don't have to worry about that when I, go to bed or when I go to therapy, or I get to have the wonderful privilege of my great battle is like, oh, I got to pay off the mortgage early, right? Like that's my struggle. And like, it's hard to get boys to that point where it's like, hey, you can find struggles, you can find battles to fight, but they're not going to be as appealing as you want
No.
them to be. So,
No,
right.
and it's never going to be enough. That's like there's like a hedonic treadmill is the wrong term because you're thinking about struggle, but the treadmill of achievement is never going to be enough. There will never be a point you're searching for, but there's never going to be a point where like there it is, I got it. Because
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned the military and everything. For people who join the military and never deploy don't feel like they're worthy, or people who join, deploy, and never leave the wire don't feel don't feel they're worthy. People who left the wire but didn't see action feel like they're not worthy. People who saw action but didn't get injured feel like they aren't worthy, and people who got injured and didn't die feel like there's no winning this. There's actually no
Yeah.
winning the struggle you're
Well, I
fighting for.
mean, you could be like that, like fucking tier 1 SEAL who's like doing a war crime, and he's just like, I'm winning right now. Like,
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you could be the guys that made like necklaces out of people's ears in Afghanistan and
yeah.
shit like that. Yeah, that's a good point. The people who actually do feel it are the psychotic ones, and
Yep.
there's no shortage of psychotic individuals in the military. So yeah, that's a good point right there.
Yeah.
And but I had to say, since you brought this up, I love being a leftist vet. I fucking love it, man. I love it when debating right wingers on this shit because you can use
Mhm.
it as a sword and a shield. It's perfect. They can't attack you for not loving the nation or hating America or anything. Good luck. Oh, I hate the United States, huh? Were you in the army? I didn't see you there. Well, when did that? I just like kind of odd, like that you're telling me. What did you do again? You worked at
Yep.
Office Max. Oh, how noble! How
Oh,
cool! Yeah,
cool.
I'm sure. The nation's very proud of you. Someone knocked the keyboard out of your hands once. Wow, man, that's incredible. I mean,
Crazy.
yeah. So it's perfect. And what's great about it is being a masculine presenting leftist veteran. It's I don't know. It's oh yeah, a successful leftist or masculine presenting leftist veteran, a lot of these chumps would trade places with you in a second. Like they would. I love it. I fucking love it. And so yeah, we use it to our advantage the best we can.